Alright guys, let's talk about Trust Wallet for the first time since September 11th, and that day we actually were trying to break through this local resistance, which actually extends back to about March the 10th here, and you can see it got rejected several times along the way. Now, we spent another day under that, and we popped above it on the 13th of September, tried to retest on the 14th, didn't manage to hold it, fell back under for several more days. Now, yesterday, it actually punched above this 80-cent mark, this resistance on a weekly time frame. It did get above this local trend line, punched through the 86-cent mark, got rejected at 95 cents here, but today it actually managed to push through that, and as well as this Fibonacci here, and right now it's getting rejected on this long-term trend line. Now this goes back for years. Let's just take a look at this. Let me zoom out. And you can see it goes back to the January 25th week of 2021. So it bounced along this trend line many times. Actually lost it in July of 24. Did manage to get back above it for a while, but basically, since March of this year, it hasn't been above that line. So right now, it is fighting that. It's trying to get back above it. So it's definitely not going to be easy. That is strong resistance. So let's see what happens. Maybe it can do it, but we have to look at some of these indicators and make a decision. Now, taking a look at the volume profile here, you can see we've just popped above the point of control here at about $1.08 flat. So we're about 4 cents above this right now. It's not much, and we haven't even sealed a daily candle over that. I'm looking at this on a weekly time frame though. So let's see if we can get above it, but the next mark to get above would be about $1.14 and hold that. And then basically you're stair-stepping your way up the ladder here, and yeah, the volume drops drastically. Now on the monthly time frame, nothing has really changed with the Bollinger Bands here. There is no pinch. But let's take a look at the weekly time frame. Now, last week there was more narrowness there. You can see it's kind of expanding now out, both of these blue lines. But there wasn't really any pinch, I would say. But the narrowness probably does help the price action, I would say. Now, on the daily time frame, we had more narrowness really back in, let's say, September 10, 11. And then it started to really widen here. So again, I don't think this is really playing a role in the price action, unfortunately, at least on the monthly, weekly, and daily time frames. Now looking at the RSI and stochastic here on the monthly time frame, they are coming up pretty heavily here, so that is actually pretty good, I would say. Weekly time frame coming up pretty heavily as well, but not overheated just yet on the RSI, but this stochastic is right on the line. Now the daily time frame is getting overheated on both. Unfortunately here, the 4-hour time frame is overheated and it looks like it's about to turn to the downside for both. Now, the 1-hour time frame, it's a little bit oversold here on the stochastic, so I do anticipate it will go to the upside once again pretty shortly. RSI is just slightly pointed up here, but in neutral territory, but a little bit flat for some hours. Now, on the 15-minute time frame here, it is actually coming out of this oversold territory and coming up pretty heavily. RSI is also coming up pretty heavily as well. So let's just put this on a 4-hour time frame and get rid of this, and let's take a look at this. You know, I think it's really going to struggle getting through this long-term trend line. I just don't know if it can do it tonight. Maybe. If it closes basically above, let's just say $1.16, because this says $1.15 point something. $1.16 tonight. If we can close a daily over that, that's a start. But we really need a weekly candle over this trend line because that's a more stronger candle than a daily. Now taking a look at the MACD on a monthly time frame, we do have this blue line coming up pretty heavily here. And we do have this red that's, just kind of fading from this dark red to the light red. And I do expect a green period here probably in the next month, definitely in 2 months for sure. But I do anticipate probably next month making a green candle. But let's see. Now, if we go to the weekly time frame, we're actually in a green period since mid-July. We do have a fairly large dark green candle here at the moment. Blue line is pointed very heavily to the upside, so this is good. Now on a daily time frame, pointed pretty heavily to the upside, and we've been in a green period basically since 10th of September. So yeah, just when you thought it was fading here, we did get a couple of bigger dark green candles. So again, momentum here is to the upside for Trust Wallet. Now before I go any farther, guys, you can claim some bonuses on my favorite crypto exchanges below, and you can find Moodix here. You can get a free 7-day trial, and you can follow me on X here. Now what's pushing all this price action, guys? Just go to CoinGecko and basically you can see a lot of news in the last couple of days. And here you have news from 2 days ago about tokenized real world assets. You also have like a new roadmap. You have about TWT boost user earning opportunities. The use cases are just expanding. They have, you know, integrated tokenized equities with Kraken now. They released a light paper. There's just a lot going on for Trust Wallet at the moment. So this is good to see. It's very nice in my opinion. I do have just a little bit of this, but I do like Trust Wallet. My kids actually have Trust Wallet with crypto in it. Now, if we go to the tokenomics here, we can see that Trust Wallet is the number 197 project. Now, it's up about 20% today. You can see my holdings here. Like I said, it's a small bag, guys. But I wouldn't mind actually getting some more. So let's see. Maybe I will soon. But total supply is just 1 billion. Circulating is about, what, 416.5 million. That's not that bad. That's pretty good. Now, the all-time high was $2.72. So you're sitting about 58% down. But I remember that time, guys. It was 3 years ago, December of 2022. And yeah, it was really surging, and a lot of people were really hyped on this project, but then it went back down. So, unfortunately, now, if you bought it at the all-time low, poof, you're probably a mega billionaire by now if you bought a lot of this, because yeah, it's 41,000% up at the moment. Now, speaking of the new roadmap and the light paper and things, you can go to their X and you can find all of this there, guys. You just have to scroll down a little bit. Here's that light paper I was talking about. If you scroll down a little bit more, here's the new roadmap and renewed vision. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is having a red day today. Not very good. We can see it sinking below a few supports here on the daily time frame. Unfortunately, we are losing the 115,726 mark at the moment. Now, we still have several hours until this daily candle closes, but we also have this trend line here, which, you know, we could get a bounce at, and this goes back to September 1st. So about 3 weeks now, and you can see we bounced once here. So are we about to come and meet this trend line once again and get a bounce? It's very well possible. But basically, guys, we are just really consolidating here, I would say, and everything still looks pretty good. Now, we do kind of have this inverse head and shoulders as well, as you see that I've kind of mapped out here. We have basically already hit this target too. So yeah, TA can work sometimes, guys. But yeah, you do have kind of a shoulder here. You got the head here and the shoulder here. And if you measure that, we hit that target and we have exceeded it, actually. Unfortunately, Ethereum is looking a little bit worse today. It's actually crashing through a couple of supports here on the daily time frame as well. We're losing the 4480 mark at the moment. We've been rejected basically at the top of this Fibonacci at least a couple of times. Maybe we can even count these other couple of days here because we got pretty close to it. And like I always say, guys, none of these lines are perfect. So basically, I would say we're getting rejected from the top of the Fibonacci once again. As you can see, it happened here as well. It happened here. So it's not easy to punch through this Fibonacci, but once we do, there's only a couple of more resistances above us, and then we have the all-time high to take on. Unfortunately, the total market cap is also taking a dump at the moment, so we find ourselves right below 4.01 trillion. Now, we still, like I said, have about 5 hours here. It's very possible we could work our way back up as long as we get above 4.01 trillion. That's fine. But let's see. I just don't think anything's going to happen to really push the price in the next 5 hours, unfortunately. If we look at the total market cap excluding Bitcoin, also, you know, we've been fighting 1.71 trillion here for several days and just getting kind of a big rejection right now. And we do have support still at 1.62 trillion on a weekly time frame. Jumping over to the Bitcoin dominance, we have gotten a rejection here at 58.12 today, but we are pushing up a little bit here, unfortunately. But if we look at this on a weekly time frame, you know, this is what it looks like, so still not bad. We just need to seal that weekly candle below 58.12 and start working our way down to 56.77. Now, the USDT dominance here is pushing back above 4.31%. So we keep, you know, flirting with 4.31% lately. But yeah, a lot of people are selling their crypto today and they're putting it into USDT. I don't know why, guys. There's nothing really to be afraid of. But the last several days were very good. But basically, we're back, like 3 days, like Tuesday, basically. That's basically where we're at. Altcoin season index at an 80 right now. So basically, we're going like 78, 80, 82, and then back. So, you know, like 80, 78, and then back again. So it's just rotating between those numbers basically right now. And we're still in altcoin season. I do think this will cool down, though, today. Now, the liquidation heat map, $321 million, has been wrecked in the last 24 hours. A little bit elevated, but still not too bad. Now, we do have the fear and greed here, but we need to update this because it isn't in 12.5 hours. It's actually in about 5 hours here, but we have a 53, and yesterday was neutral. At 52, so we did heat up just a little bit from yesterday. Now, if we go to the bull market peak indicator, sell at the top, still, altcoin season index is the one that hit. So, in my opinion, that's just not the best indicator. And basically, you know, I think the best is the Pi cycle top indicator. And if we look at that and we zoom in here, it's still not even close to crossing. And yeah, I mean, if we look at this, it says it's about 60.31% progress. Now, next week is pretty important, guys. We do have a lot of speakers speaking next week, like Williams and Bostic and things. But if we look at Tuesday, we have PMI numbers. Wednesday is pretty much a dead day. Thursday, we do have core durable goods orders. We have core PCE prices from Q2, GDP. That's pretty much it on Thursday. But Friday we have core PCE price index. We also have PCE price index, personal spending, and Michigan numbers. So Friday will be very important. And Thursday is also pretty important as well. But the rest of the week, not too much except for the PMI on Tuesday. Jumping over to Moodix, you can see sentiment is still risk on. That trend is growing. Now today was actually a pretty positive day. The week is very positive, the month also very positive, and the year is, you know, it's growing. So yeah, it's looking really good for risk on assets, which crypto is considered risk on. Now the next meeting is in about 40 days, guys, and basically it's only expected that we're going to get a quarter point cut again. It's about a 92% chance at the moment, but again, 40 days is a very long time. Now, if we go to Polymarket here, it's a little bit different where 11% think there's not going to be any change. Kind of strange to see that 1% think we're going to get an increase, but basically 86% believe it's only going to be a quarter point cut, and about 4% here believe half point cut. Now, Trueflation is showing a 2.24% inflation here. Still not bad, but a little bit above what the Fed wants to see. Now, crypto bubbles, unfortunately, looking pretty bad. It's kind of reversed from yesterday, so the week is now red as well. Still, the month and year are okay, but yeah, it's kind of sad to see. We had such a good day yesterday and everything reversed. Now, CoinOndo, guys, it's timed out for some reason. Maybe you have it, but it looks like here I can't get it right now. Sometimes this happens, though, with CoinOndo, unfortunately. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell. Check out those links I have below, guys, because if you use my links, of course, I do get some commission. It's a very small commission, and like I always say, unless you're like a mega millionaire or billionaire, I'm probably going to get pennies. So, you know, I really appreciate it when you do use those links and you do deposit on these exchanges. It helps keep me motivated. It helps keep me going, guys. And anyways, like I said, like, subscribe, activate the bell. And guys, I really appreciate your support. We're pushing 1,700 subscribers. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one.